Seed for Mac, dear boss. Of course, like this is a stock, but we added it and kept it there. Okay. So we are bullish trading inside this channel for the bulls to take over. From a long-term perspective, I still want to see a break above this 14 around 14.21. If you see this break, expect a longer-term bullish movement. For now, we are bullish inside this channel, and we had the break upwards. We are currently, here we go. We are currently retesting this zone. So here we'll be looking for a trend following bar setup. And by looking, I mean we zoom into lower time frames. Oh, oops, sorry, we can't really see much. Okay, anyway, let's stick to daily time frame. Okay, so for example, you draw a channel like this, because like we can't really see it on lower time frames. And then if you see, for example, a kind of break above it, then we'll be expecting the bulls to take over, just like this consolidation, for example, and so on. Okay, that's what we are waiting for on seed, and the bulls would be in control as long as we don't have a break below this low. If we see this break below this low, expect a bearish movement. So let's move forward with our analysis. And as you already know, our second part for today, as the educational one, is how to spot supply and demand zones. And for those who remember, previously, like at the start of like my appearance here, I made a dedication session about supply and demand zones. What is a supply and a demand? How to draw it? How to spot it? How to trade it? And so on. But for today, like we'll go over practical examples of supply and demand. And anyway, the price is usually now around the demand zone, right? So many altcoins, like for example AVAX, like SAND, and so on, are around the demand zone from weekly time frame. Okay, so if you check weekly, you can see a very similar scenario. For example, here on BNB, you can see that we've got a demand zone right here, an impulse consolidation, then impulse movement. Again, that's definitely a demand, but already it got filled, right? So previously, when we had, here we go. Okay, so when we had this movement, impulse, correction, impulse, we had what? A demand zone right here. It is the last bearish candle or the consolidation before the next bullish movement start. This is where we'll be looking for bust up. So I usually would do like this, and I put my alert just right here, okay? And then when the price approaches this zone, if it approaches this zone, I'll be looking for bar setups. Let me make it a little bit faster. So let's go for 3. Okay, so as we approach, here we go, right? So of course, like I zoom into lower time frames. For example, on daily, you can see like multiple candles. On H4, you can see like highs and lows, right? So now we are bearish starting from here. The bears took over. Impulse correction trading lower. Now the last high is here. Let's move forward, and okay, that's it. Fantastic. We've got a minor high broken upward now. That's still the last major high. And here we go. Now we are forming an inverse head and shoulders. Left head, the right is forming. Okay, so like that, this is no longer valid because like it took so much time here. Here we go. Okay, so that's basically it. You've got the idea. And for a supply and demand zone, let's go back to our example. Click on X, this one, that's it. Okay, we traded higher. Now we are around this area. Anyway, we'll check, of course, more supply and demand zones examples as we go through the next ones. If you go to BNB, as I mentioned, if you remember, just like Ethereum, we have a midway, upper bound, lower bound. For the bulls to take over from a long-term perspective, we need to see a break above this high right here. Okay, from a medium-term perspective, above this high. From a short-term perspective, above this high, which is from H4 time frame. So now clearly the bulls took over, and if you zoom out, we are currently trading inside this falling channel, up, down, up, down. We are currently here. So yeah, we might reject this area and trade lower before again trading higher, just like previously, multiple times. Unless now we break it upward in this case and move into the upper bound would be expected. This zone, maybe later on, just like here, for example, you get a consolidation, like a channel, that's it. Okay, or also an inverse head and shoulders, broke the neckline downward, and that's it. Okay, so that's it for BNB. I can't really say much. The bull took over, approaching a resistance now. For XRP, we previously know that we are bearish. We rejected this zone and we are trading lower. Now we can update our zone to become this one. Okay, that's why you see my alert here. It was up there. If we break above the 0.5 again, it didn't happen, kept moving lower. Now I have my zone here. If we trade lower from here, I have my alert right here around this demand zone. Why it's a demand? If you zoom out, we can see that we had an explosive movement upward from here. Okay, that's definitely a demand zone. And as you can see, my alert is on the top of the demand zone. Okay, of course, price can still dive inside it, but I want to know that price is already around this demand zone. Okay, so I want to know here, and then no matter how much we dive, or even if we make it downward, because I will not buy blindly, I will be looking for buy setups around this demand zone. Okay, so that's it. For now, can't really add much. For the bulls to reclaim control again, we had the break above this falling wedge, but we didn't really have a break above the last major high, which would be this area. On Raven coin, a perfect example of a demand zone, right? You can clearly see it, an aggressive movement upwards from here, right? A movement upward, and we are currently retesting the demand. So I had my alert here and it went off. Now I've added 2 alerts, one down there in case we dive even lower, and one up here for the bulls to take over. That's it. Okay. Of course, now we can dive lower and lower. In this case, I'll be updating my zone, okay, to be able to catch a better entry. But for now, this is the last major high that for the bulls to take over, they need to prove control, prove that they are strong enough to break above this area. Meanwhile, we are here, the price is getting boring, but we just wait, okay? 90% of our time is waiting and waiting. So price moves like this 10% of the time only. Okay, you can clearly see it. Big movement, and look at this, right? Consolidation, and then look at this. Big movement and then consolidation. Big movement, consolidation. Okay, so like if you want like this period, okay, is like 1 to 3 can if you want like this period, that's because we have consolidation here. That's why like it takes longer, but we are still in the same area. This is for Raven coin around the demand, looking for buy setups for the bulls to take over.